In this video, I'm going to show you how to do a waterfall release strategy using DistroKid, who is also the sponsor of this video, more on them later. But first I need to talk about what a waterfall release strategy is, why it can be useful, and then I'll dive into DistroKid and I'll show you exactly how to do it. So let's dive into what is a waterfall release strategy. Well, I think a lot of people know of the Chainsmokers, and they did one, I think a couple of years ago now. But this band Spiritbox, by the way, awesome band if you're into like alternative metal stuff. They've done it, and a lot of people didn't realize it, maybe because a lot of people that watch my channel don't listen to metal like I do. But what they did is they had this album called Eternal Blue, and they didn't just drop it out of the blue. They dropped a bunch of singles first, but they didn't just drop a bunch of singles first. Prior to them launching that album, they launched this EP, Hurt You. But then if you look back a little bit, they also launched this EP, Secret Garden. And then they also launched this EP, Circle With Me. And then this single, two-song single, Constance. And then prior to that, they also launched Holy Roller. I don't know why my Spotify keeps glitching out. But you see how they kind of built up this album, like Holy Roller here. And then they had Holy Roller again, but with a feature. And then they had Holy Roller again with Constance. And then they had Holy Roller, Constance, and Circle With Me. Holy Roller, Constance, Circle With Me, Secret Garden. Then they released Constance again with an acoustic version. Then they released Holy Roller, Constance, Circle With Me, Secret Garden, and Hurt You. And then they released Eternal Blue. So essentially, songs like Holy Roller has been released like 7 times. And Circle With Me like 5 times. Constance like 6 times. So you can kind of see why this might be useful, right? When you go and drop the same song a bunch with other songs, like even though you're not going to get a second shot at release radar for every time you drop the same song, when you drop this 3-song EP, Circle With Me is the new one here. And so when people check out Circle With Me, they may also check out Constance and Holy Roller. So even though it's not directly the same as pushing out the same song over and over again, you're going to have some people that listen to this song because it's brand new, and then they go listen to this song either for the first time or for a second time. And so that's kind of explains why it's like what it actually is and how you do it, or why it's useful. But what they could have done is once they drop this, or once they dropped Eternal Blue, like a lot of people don't like the idea of having all this clutter in their feed. For me personally, I think it's fine. Like I'm doing waterfalls and I'm just going to leave everything up there. But once they put Hurt You on there, they could have removed Secret Garden, and then once they added Eternal Blue, they could have removed every previous single if they wanted to, because it's already on here with the same ISRC codes and everything. So everything's already here. And by the way, all the streams on every single version of these releases are all linked. So they compound and stack on each other time and time again. And so since then, I've been experimenting with doing this a little bit. I've only done it for 2 releases yet, but for my new band that I launched this year, Every Waking Moment, we're doing this the entire year. So first we dropped the song Headlocked, and then a month later we dropped our single Come Alive. You can see Headlocked is the second song in the EP. And so in like 3-4 weeks, when we drop our 3rd single, I Am, there's going to be a 3-song like EP or single called I Am, that the first song's I Am, second song's Come Alive, third song's Headlocked. So a year down the line, or however long it ends up being, it's just going to be an album at that point, right? And there's going to be all these releases. And it has this effect of an album growing slowly over time. And on another note, I also tried this with my own music, or my solo music. Every Waking Moment is also my own music. I dropped a single called Over. Take note of the color of this profile, or this album art, and look at the color difference here. So it's a different release. So like if I were to go to this version of Over, and I go to the album, it just has the song Over in it. But if I go back here and I click on this one, what I did is I released a 2-song single with the same name. And when you use the same name for an album or single or EP, it overrides the old one. And so that's why the old one doesn't show up on my list of singles and EPs, because it just consumes the other one automatically. If you change the name, you can get to keep both. But so in this case, I have Over here. And I did something a little different with this. This was more of like, it was going to be an acoustic version, but then it turned into a cinematic version. But it's kind of the same concept. And I just wanted to drop this song without running any ads or any promotion. I think I might have tried like $10 in Submit Hub credits or something. So this is essentially just organic, my existing audience listening to it. And the idea with that was like this song Over, I'm already promoting because that song only came out a month before the cinematic version. And so now I just changed the link to point to this one. And then a certain percentage of people will overflow from the regular version into the cinematic version. So roughly, I think 30% of the streams came from Release Radar, so that's just my followers. But then the rest were essentially just overflow from promoting this song. So that's kind of another way you can use this strategy. And then also, by the way, I'm coming out with a new album in a couple weeks, and that album's going to have both of these on there. There's essentially no limit, it seems, to how many times you can re-release the same song in different packages. So with that being said, let's jump over to DistroKid. So if you're not familiar with DistroKid, they're a music distribution platform. I've been using them for the past 4 years. I've used them exclusively. Like, these are all my releases. I've released an insane amount of music with DistroKid, and one thing I like about them is that all their plans are unlimited. So I can release unlimited amounts of music per year. The pricing is based, like, it starts at $19.99. We get one artist, unlimited releases. But if you wanted to do the waterfall strategy, you would need their Musician Plus plan, which I believe is $39. I'll put a thing on screen that says the real price. I'm just going off of memory. Because the way we're going to do this waterfall release strategy, you need to be able to customize release dates and ISRC codes, which needed to be on their Musician Plus plan or above to do that. Now, just so you know, I'm on a label plan because I have, like, there's a lot of different artists on here, right? It's not just one artist. Most of you probably Musician Plus is more than enough. So the way we do it, and you can kind of see history here, we'll focus on, I guess we'll look at Headlocked and Come Alive first. So Headlocked was just released as a single. And then if I go back to my music, we can look at Come Alive. And this was released as just a 2-song single. But the important factor is these ISRC codes, which I think I can get the show up here. Yeah, these ISRC codes are very important because this is what links the single version of Headlocked to this like little secondary version of Headlocked. It's going to link the streams because we're reusing this ISRC code. So what we need to do is I'm going to duplicate this tab just so we can come back. So I'm going to go to my music, and now we're going to make a new release. Oh, I clicked the wrong button. Now we're going to make a new release. We're going to upload. So I'm just going to pretend this is my actual release, even though I'm not uploading everything here. I'm going to choose Snapchat because I own all the publishing. And this release is going to be for every waking moment. So what I can do is I could say, we're going to drop this song. And normally, you know, this isn't going to be the real date, but I'm just going to pick a random number. And then we would give our artwork on here. We would choose our genres, choose your label, and all that jazz. Now, the important part, we want to make sure, like, this is going to be a 3-song one where I'm reusing Headlocked and Come Alive. So this would be a 3-song release. And I'm glossing over this because I'm not actually making this right now. But track 1, this would be my new song, I Am, right? Track 2 is going to be our existing song, Come Alive. Track 3 is going to be our existing song, Headlocked. So at this point, the ISRC code over here, this thing that says already got an ISRC code, we don't have one of those for I Am because that song is not released yet. So we could leave this. Obviously, we'd have to upload the audio file, get all this extra formatting stuff in, but I think most of you are familiar with that process. So now if we go down to Come Alive, though, we do have an ISRC code. So I can just click this, and then I can go back here, and I can grab the ISRC code for Come Alive, and then I can just paste that in here. And then I fill out the rest of the information, upload the audio file, move on to song 3. Well, yes, I do have an ISRC code for Headlocked. So I can come over here, grab the ISRC for Headlocked, and put that in there. Fill out the rest of the information. And aside from that, all the other stuff in here is just a normal release. But now if I were to finish this release and publish it, I would have a 3-song EP or 3-song single that relinks these previous 2 songs. All the streams carry over. Every time someone listens to that song, it's going to reference to that new release. Well, depending on a few things. But basically, all the streams are going to carry over. So when I promote I Am, it's going to be part of that album. And people might check out those other 2 songs, which is why that strategy can be so useful. So if I go back to my music, though, you can do this in mass, which is what I did with my album Doublethink. My album Doublethink is 19 songs. It's coming out at the end of April. And 12 of the songs have already been released. 7 of them are new. So Life is Short, Best Friend, Over, Fire, Dreaming, Sunrise, Socialize, Undone, Where Did You Come From, You, Neutron, and Over cinematic version have all been released before. So what did I do? For all those songs, I went through my DistroKid catalog and I grabbed the ISRC code. Another thing that's important here, you have to make sure that the artist name, the song name, the ISRC code, and the audio file are exactly the same one that you used before. So if for some reason you lost your audio file, then you're going to want to go over to Goodies, I think it's Protect Your Music, and Vault. So DistroKid backs up all of your audio files. So if you lost the original audio file, don't burn a new one. Use the one from your Vault, because the audio file has to be exactly the same. And that's, to me, that's the best way that you can guarantee that they're going to be exactly the same. So by the way, if you want to get 7% off of DistroKid so you can go and distribute your music, I have a link in the description and in the pinned comment below. I've been using them for years before they ever sponsored a video on this channel, and I've been paying for membership myself this entire time for the past 4 or 5 years, wherever long it's been. The reason why I like them is because I think their value to feature set is better than any other distributor on the market. Before I initially picked them, I did a ton of research and compared all the things and read reviews online, and I'm in hindsight, I'm super happy with that decision, because if I wasn't, I would have just jumped ship, and I've stayed with them because I really do like the service that they provide. Another big thing that I really like is that they're one of the, as far as I know, from my experience at least, they're the fastest music distributor I've ever seen. I don't have any way to prove this, but at DistroKid, I could get a song uploaded today and schedule it for 2 days out, and I'm fairly confident it'll get on Spotify and Apple Music within that time window. Well, I would never recommend you do that because you want to be able to plan stuff further in advance, and if anything gets wrong with the release, you want some time to fix it. There's other music services that, like, even scheduling songs a week in advance are impossible. So with DistroKid, it makes, like, you can cut things down to the wire and you're going to be fine for your release, where in some other distributors, you might be completely screwed. You might have to delay your release if you announce things prematurely, basically. I'm not going to go into all the features, but they do have some awesome features like being able to upload lyrics, sync lyrics, credits. They also have some free music promotion things, but they also can make you visualizers for pretty cheap. I think it's like $9 to make a visualizer with their tool called Visi. They have features like YouTube Content ID. They can give you a social media phone number, so you can, like, collect phone numbers and text your friends one-on-one. And they have Hyperfollow, which is a super easy way to make a pre-save link or even a smart link after your release is out to share on social media, get some pre-saves, get some email addresses, and send people to different destinations if you don't already have a smart link service already. So if you found this video helpful, I have this entire playlist right here that you can check out to learn how I market my music with Facebook ads. And this video on the bottom is what YouTube thinks you should watch. Thank you very much to DistroKid for sponsoring this video. Click the link below to get 7% off any of their plans. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see you next video. Bye.